Hey everyone, it is Dr. Kyle Olson at Chiropractic First of Rockford, and it is fall. It is back to school season. In fact, I know this week I've been talking to a lot of our clients that have kids that are going back to school starting today, and then over the next roughly 2 weeks, I think most of the Rockford area schools are going to be back in session. So I want to take a moment to talk specifically about some of the things that tips or tricks, if you will, things that to consider if your goal is to keep your child or your grandchild healthy this school year, which I think everyone wants that. But here are some things that will affect their day-to-day activities that are going to increase the likelihood that they're healthy, that they're happy, that they're developing good posture and good habits, not just for the short term, for these next couple months and years of their school, but actually the patterns that they're learning now are going to have a dramatic impact on their health for the decades that follow. The school years or the school age of children is so important because not only are they developing so many vital social skills and knowledge that they'll need, but physically they're going through just a huge transformation in such a short period of time. It is unparalleled to nearly any other time in their life after they reach adulthood. So the things that they're doing now, as their muscles get bigger and as their bones solidify and they just become more established in their movements, the patterns they develop are going to have a significant impact on the future as well. So here are a few tips that I would give parents out there, and I'm saying this as a father with 4 children, 3 of which are going to be in school this year from pre-K up to 3rd grade. Some of the things, and in fact, all these things I do very personally, and I just want to share things that I find helpful that hopefully help a few of you out there too. The first is that wearing a backpack is a necessity, but you can control a lot of the aspects that will make a backpack either good or bad for your child's posture. The first thing I'd recommend is get a good backpack that has good straps and if possible even has the ratchets or the clicks in front so that you can close it up. It's important that the child, if possible, is wearing both straps instead of just wearing one around his shoulder. You want the weight distribution on the backpack to be even on that child. So that's something you're going to have to talk to them about, but especially if they're younger, get them in that pattern early on to learn that. If they're able to snap in front, that also helps to make sure the weight is distributed more through the chest and not so much pulling onto the back, creating an unnecessary curve or stress on their lower back. The second is that the total weight of the backpack should be about 10 to 15% of their body weight. Unfortunately, nowadays, there's so many books, and then now we're adding in things like tablets and other pieces of technology that really add a lot of heft to a backpack. And so what you can do is encourage them to leave behind books or other items that they don't need to be carrying. If you can limit things like heavy food containers or boxes or old clothes that they don't need that they're just carrying around, anything you can do to lessen the load is going to go a long way to reducing the stress on their back and on their neck specifically. The third thing is the positioning of the backpack. You want the backpack to be on their back and actually essentially pushed against. What you don't want is the very loose straps where the backpack is hanging off the butt essentially, and there's a gap between the back of the backpack and the back of the child. You'd like it to be tighter to the back. That keeps the center of gravity or keeps the weight closer to their center of gravity, which helps their body move with it more naturally than if it's hanging off the back, pulling their shoulders and their neck back and forcing an unnatural strain on that area. So making sure that it fits properly is a big part of that as well. The second thing to go through is food. Now, I understand, and we utilize school lunches at different times for our children as well. But there is something to be said that a lot of times school lunches are not the most healthy or the most nutritious. So we try to monitor which days make sense and which days don't make sense based on everything that's being offered that day. If you feel like you want to provide a home lunch for your child, what I'd recommend and what I do is I do a certain amount of prep work on the weekends or if I get time throughout the week during the evening so that when morning times comes and I'm throwing together the lunches for everybody, I don't have to go through and splice up every piece of fruit and every vegetable and things like that. We generally have got things kind of pre-made, so it cuts down a significant amount of time in the morning in total prep work. So just like meal prep can be very important for an adult that's trying to manage their meals, think about that for your children as well. So we do fruits and vegetables ahead of time, things like that. So meal prepping for children, also important. And again, I would say while there's a time and place for school meals, if they're young enough that they allow snacks or things like that, it's a great opportunity to add a little bit of health, even if not everything's perfect, which is what it is. but look for any opportunity to give them those nutrients they need. Remember, the food that they're eating is the fuel that goes into their body and fuels their brain. So the better that you can give them good, healthy fats and vitamins and minerals, it is truly going to impact their cognition and their ability to perform physically and mentally. And the last thing is chiropractic. Now, I'll tell you openly, my children have been adjusted since the day they were born. I'm very happy with the way they move, their health. I know a lot of our clients in the practice here have entrusted their children or their grandchildren's health to us, which means the world to us and the trust that's there. But if you do have a child that's in school, please consider them. Please consider getting them examined and cared for by a chiropractor if necessary. They are under a lot of stress every day, just like you are at your job. It's not the same stress. They're not doing, assembly line work, or they're not sitting in a bad desk chair, or they may not be doing the same things you're doing, but they are wearing heavy backpacks. They are straining down as they look at technology. They are going through gym class. They're falling off playgrounds. They are doing things that are harmful to their body in the long term. And so the rule of thumb is that it's always easier to maintain a healthy child than to fix a broken adult. So you can make a huge impact on your child's health both now and down the road, their spinal health, their posture, their physical stress, by ensuring that there's a chiropractor that's present in their care and making sure that as they develop and as they're getting bigger and stronger, that these patterns aren't becoming negative down the road. So please, if it's in our office or any other office, please find a good chiropractor that you trust to care for your child as they age. Those are just 3 tips or tricks. If you have any additional ones, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'm sure there's lots of parents out there that are looking for any 1% improvement that they can make. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you again soon.